So the question for today is solo leveling copying Hunter x Hunter when it comes to the whole ant arc? The ant arc is very similar in solo leveling to the Chimera ant arc in Hunter x Hunter. Are they copying each other? No. In my personal opinion, they are not copying each other. Solo leveling is highly inspired by One Punch Man, and Hunter x Hunter is pretty freaking obvious. A lot of manga do this already, like Tower of God is inspired by Hunter x Hunter too, and One Piece, you can tell by some of the character designs and stuff like that. A lot of manhwas take a lot of inspiration from mangas to create their manhwas. They take a lot of inspiration from a lot of their favorite shows. And that's what makes me like manhwas the most, is because they take a lot of inspiration. The creators of the mangas take a lot of inspiration from mangas and make their own new unique thing. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have solo leveling. Solo leveling is very fun. Solo leveling copies One Punch Man when it comes to the whole ranking system, but as well, a lot of mangas have a lot of there's a lot of mangas where it has main characters who are super strong and overpowered and fighting in dungeons and stuff. That's kind of like the norm of a lot of light novels and mangas. But you can kind of see that solo leveling is kind of inspired by both. Now, when it comes to the ant arc from solo leveling and the Chimera ant arc from Hunter x Hunter, they're slightly similar but very different. For example, the Chimera ants, keyword chimeras, are a mix of animals. Their original first species is ant, but they're mixed with different things like tigers, lions, penguins, bears, stuff like that. So there's that difference when it comes to that, right? When it comes to the ant arc and solo leveling, they are 1,000% just giant ants. So it's completely different. Okay, the solo leveling arc is only literally 3 or 4 episodes. I think in the manga it's like 8 or 9 pages. It's not even that long. You know what I'm saying? But the Chimera ant arc in Hunter x Hunter is literally like multiple freaking episodes. So it's completely different. All right, it's just homage. He's like the solo leveling creator is just letting you know, like, hey, I read Hunter x Hunter, and it's different enough where it's not a copy. Beru compared to Meruem, completely different villains. Yes, they're both the Ant King. Yes, they're both strong, but they're completely different from one another. They don't even feel the same. And if we go back to talking about homage, if you look at Meruem is inspired by Cell and Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, all right? And that's where Hunter x Hunter got its homage from. And then when you look at Dragon Ball Z, Cell and that whole arc is inspired by freaking multiple different things. I mean, for one, it's inspired by Terminator. It's like pretty obvious that it's like, it's a Terminator arc that's inspired by. Cell is inspired by a lot of them old kind of early kind of sci-fi movies. But Dragon Ball Z as a whole is inspired by Star Wars. I mean, it's pretty freaking obvious. There's so much similarities when it comes to like the alien emperors in space and the spaceships and all these unique spacesuits that they wear and all that stuff. I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's inspired by Star Wars. Star Wars, Terminator, and then of course Cell is kind of inspired by all of those old school horror type of creatures. I'm trying to think of what they were called. They were like these old comic books you used to be able to get. Like they're like pulp comic books. He's kind of inspired like by one of those like pulp fiction type creatures. Those really cheap comic books back in the day, they used to come with the yellow pages. He's like inspired by those. He's highly inspired by like a sci-fi evil alien entity. So everything gets inspiration from somewhere. So the fact that people kind of been whining about that, oh my gosh, solo leveling is copying Hunter x Hunter's ant arc. It doesn't matter. And even if you say, oh, well, solo leveling is copying Hunter x Hunter because of the Hunter Association and the Hunters. I mean, there's a lot of different manhwas that have the whole Hunters thing, though. I mean, so it's kind of like, it kind of is, but like it kind of isn't because it's so different from it that it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, to me, it's more of a homage, just like Dragon Ball Z's stuff is a homage to other different things like Terminator, Pulp Fiction, and Pulp Fiction comics, not the movie Pulp Fiction, and Star Wars. So it is what it is. It's kind of just like how Sonic is kind of inspired by Star Wars. Death Star, Death Egg, I mean, come on. So, that's all I have to say for this video. Y'all have a good one.